Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Higher View Podcast, the podcast dedicated to the creative, the outside thinker, and the believer. If this is your first time to the show, we welcome you. I am here with my better half and beautiful wife, Alexus.
Hey, you gotta add both of that in there.
I
Better half and beautiful.
You gotta polish it off.
Welcome. We're super excited that you guys are here and super excited. Did I mention that twice? I think I did, but super. What was that from?
That's from that game.
What game?
Super Hot from Oculus.
Oh. Super excited that you guys are here and just to go over this episode.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good one.
It's been something that has been boiling for a while, like we mentioned in the last episode. If you watched the last one, it was just about the new year coming in. I recommend go check it out. But if this is your first time to the show, we welcome you. This is a podcast where we just go over an array of different things. We talk about a lot of different topics, really just life. If we're being real, it's just about life, real life. We talk about world topics from a healthy perspective. So if you are into that, come join us. We would love to have you. We like to chill, we like to hang out, and we like to get into conversation. So welcome if this is your first time.
Welcome. How are you?
I am pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm chill.
Yeah.
I'm doing pretty good.
Seemed like you had a light day today.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Mentally, it wasn't too bad. It was a little slow today, so can't complain about that. Tomorrow is Friday, so yeah.
I've been hearing a lot from people. This week's been going so slow. I feel like I feel like this week's going by fast.
Yeah, I mean it's decent. I think it's been all right.
I had a pretty good week.
How's your week been? I know you kind of had a short week, so.
Oh, yeah.
Because you didn't have that one school?
Yeah. Well, I'm representing Stretch and Grow today. Got my Stretch and Go sweatshirt on. So what's up? Represent. If you need a job, ladies, and you like working with kids, reach out to me because I got you.
Yeah, it's a dope job.
Yeah, it is. And we are hiring. But yeah, I enjoyed, it's nice to get back to schedule after the holidays. I know you guys can relate, but after the holidays, during holidays, things get, off. You're off from work or you're visiting, going out of town, all this stuff. And so it's just nice to get back into the rhythm of the routines and all that stuff. But
kind of feels like we're just jam-packed every week for a while there.
I had, was it today or yesterday? It was today, actually. I had to coach myself.
Yeah. I
had to look in the mirror and say, enough is enough. Oh. Get out of your head. Like I had to lay it down on myself, and it was good. It was like I had to speak over myself when it comes to this job, when it comes to Stretch and Grow, when it comes to just saying, like, this is something you prayed in. Like, you need to give those kids your all.
Yeah.
It's scriptural where it says, dang it, I don't remember where it's at, but, having joy in the things you do, like finding joy in the work that you do, something like that. And it's just facts. Like, we're supposed to find joy in those things and be glad with the work that we have. And that is definitely more than work for me. Like with those kids, even the hair business, like all that's more than work. And I realized today, I was like, I'm an entrepreneur. Like I am. Like I have that schedule now.
You do.
Like I'm not serving tables anymore. I'm not, bound to anything, if that makes sense.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have you need to be here at this time. You need to clock out at this time, and that's your shift.
Yeah. I mean, Stretch and Grow is a little bit like that.
It's different,
but
though.
yeah.
It's different.
Like it's literally 2 hours the most a day. Like that's it. I go to one school and then I can, come home, take care of my things, or have my hair business and have my clients focus on things like that. And I'm like, I'm living what I pray to live. Like, there's no reason why I shouldn't be glad in this and joyful in this and excited for my day. Like, that's one thing about 2023. Like, I want to be more excited and more dedicated about my days ahead of me and not so bleh.
I have to always constantly check my perspective as well. I think that's a normal thing. Yeah. But I think that's really all it is, just checking your perspective, How am I seeing this right now? Like, am I seeing this wrong? Probably. Let me switch this up. But today we want to go over what we have been talking about for like a month now. Yeah. Something that we're on the way to your stepmom Jennifer's house, and we're gonna go chill over there, and we just got in a random conversation.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
at night in the car, and we just started talking. And what we were talking about, we came up with these 3 different positions, right? So there is a position called close in confinement. Okay, so close in confinement is when you are very close with God. You are always in his presence. You're always seeking his presence. You are always doing nothing but that. So you're close in confinement. So maybe, it's not, and none of these positions are bad. Let me just preface this with that. None of these position is better than the other. I'm just explaining all 3 in a general aspect. But close in confinement, you probably are a little bit closed off to the world, and you don't have many new experiences. In God's presence, always loathing in it. That's amazing. Yeah, that's good. So there's a different position. So that's first position, and then we'll call that number 1, and then we'll go to number 3. Position number 3. This is being near and experiencing new. So what that means is, so you're experiencing new things, you're traveling, you're starting businesses. God maybe not be your root system, but he's around. You have him always, like that's who you rely on. And that is something that is always in your mind. You're starting businesses and spreading the good word with it. That is being near and experiencing new. Okay. So then we have position number 2, which is right in the middle, right? And that's the place that we talked about. This is where we want to be, right? We want to be in the safe place. Position number 2 is the safe place. So it is going to be a mixture of close in confinement and being near and experiencing new. So we want to be, in our opinion, we said this is the position that is going to put us the furthest where we want to go. Because of course, yeah, we want to be always in God's presence. We always want to be chasing that and yearning for that and wanting more of it, experiencing new levels of that. But at the same time, we're called for things here on this earth. We have callings that we have to fulfill at the same time. We can't always just not be doing anything and just having that only as our only position. Sometimes we have to switch it up.
Yeah. Like we're supposed to be a funnel. We're not just supposed to be something that just catches all the goodness of God.
Right.
And then it's not going anywhere.
A funnel, not a jar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. A funnel, not a jar.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely love that. I think there's people that need to hear this, because I love being in God's I live to be in God's presence. I do. And I can feel when I'm off of I need to realign myself. But at the same time, we need to be pursuing those things that God puts on our hearts or that we have desires for. If you have a desire to make a song or you have a desire to show up somewhere, don't make excuses. What I'm saying is oh, I don't want to go out in the world. I just want to be in my 4 walls, me and God. I'm cool here. Yeah. I'm comfortable here.
Yeah.
He wants us to be uncomfortable. He wants us to go out and be uncomfortable, but we're still with him. He's in us. You're not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere.
And I get there is different types of ministries as well. There's vocational ministry and there's marketplace ministry. Vocational being inside the church and marketplace being more out in the world. Completely understand that. But I think you could still have these positions in both places. Just because you're in vocational ministry does not mean you have to be completely locked to this one position your whole life.
Yeah, and also when you are vocational and you are, working at a church too, you're still putting these 2 in places because you're still moving into, who knows all the things that go behind working in a church, all the things they have to do and put together. I'm sure there's a lot of pieces that they have to put together, but they are still making moves and going towards things.
That's pretty much the safe place. Experiencing these new things, you starting things and having new people to meet, starting new relationships. That's being in that safe place. Close in confinement, it will give you the ability to clearly hear God's voice. And that's why that's so important. That's why we included that close in confinement position. We always want to have that confinement. We always want to have that confinement so we can hear the voice, so we can hear the clarity of it. And the being near and experiencing new, that's where we have the business starters. That's where we have the new things coming in our lives. Like I said in the other podcast, last week's episode, my opinion on this. I think as Christians, we are called to be on the front lines. We're called to be the forerunners. I think we're called to start the businesses. I think we're called to be the world changers. I think we're called to not live in a 9-to-5 job, for our whole lives. I think if you were to live or work a 9-to-5 job for the rest of your life, unless it's your calling, don't get me wrong, we all have different callings. If you're a doctor, if you have like a lawyer calling or something like specific like that, do your calling. But if you are in like a dead-end job, 9-to-5 for your whole life, and there's not much that you're doing in your own calling that you're not doing, I think you're wasting your calling.
Yeah.
I think there is so much more that needs to be squeezed out of you.
And I like how you're highlighting your calling, and if you are called to certain things. So it's like, maybe you are called to just do the 9-to-5, but steward that well. Take that income that you're making and invest it and put it in different places. Like, don't be selfish with it. You can still grow in a 9-to-5 job. I don't think you're just called to just be there and not do anything and have any growth, and you're doing the same thing every single day. I think we're called to be moving into things that make us uncomfortable, that grow us, that is making an impact, whatever that looks like.
Yeah, I read about that today in Crazy Faith.
Really?
Yeah, Mike Todd, he was talking about that. Like, God will put you in certain situations just for you to like have that experience. He was talking about how Peter came out of the boat. God was the one that had them get on the boat in the first place and go out into the sea or whatever it was, lake. I don't know, the body of water. He was the one who put them in that position so they could experience that. So he will put you in certain positions so you can have different experiences. And that's pretty huge. If you know that you are there for a reason and you're there on purpose, it changes the game.
And even, we all have to start somewhere. So even if you are called to be an entrepreneur or start things on your own, you don't just get there. Like, you have to work towards it. So of course you have to have that security, to be able to provide for your family, provide for yourself. So you're going to have that 9-to-5 at first, but that doesn't mean you need to stay there. Like, get out and like, you're going to have to sacrifice your evenings, sacrifice your weekends here and there. Like, start planting goals, start planting, like I said a few episodes back, I don't remember which one it was, but I talked about like the project goals and the result goals. So it's like I think that's what it was. Project goals and result goals. I forget. Honestly, I forget. It's fine. It's okay.
It's all good.
But have those goals. If you'll know if you are supposed to do more than just a 9-to-5 job. Like, you will feel that thought. You'll have that thought. You'll feel that desire or anything. Tug. You'll feel it. Don't ignore that feeling. And that's where we're trying to get and to encourage you guys. Like, don't ignore that feeling. Like, get out, step into those goals. If you don't know where to start, people are here to help you. And I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but it's a saying where it says, what you sustain or what you build, you sustain, but what God builds, he sustains. And so that really is sticking out to me, because even when I'm trying to figure out, how I want to go about my appearance on social media with my business, that's important. Those people that's going to bring in clients. So you want the appearance of your brand and your business to be appealing to the eye. You want to have your niche where you're hitting certain people. So there's a lot that goes into it. There's so much that goes into it. So it's just, I can sit here and I can start planning and, trying to set up my goals and all these things. But I can get overwhelmed. You know, I'm like, I don't know where to start. I don't know where to go. But that's when I'm close to confinement, as I'm being near and experiencing new at the same time. So when I'm trying to plan these things, and I'm trying to plan, my appearance on my brand and stuff like that, it's like I'm not trying to figure it out all on my own. I'm still being close in confinement, still seeking God for the answers and all this stuff, and he will give you those ideas. He will plant those thoughts that you're just like, whoa, where'd that come from?
That's where the confinement comes from.
You will. And it takes time. It's not just gonna I mean, sometimes he can work like that, but sometimes it's trusting, and it's like writing things down and dissecting things and looking at inspirations, and it's just like that. So I don't know. I hope that's encouraging in any kind of way.
Going back to what I said, I think we're called to start businesses. That even falls in biblical terms with what I'm saying. Like, we're called to lay the seeds now for our future generations. And I think starting businesses, investing, or really just anything that involves setting things up for your later future is what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. And being on the number 3 category, not the safe place and not close confinement. It is being so it's not, the first one, it's not the second one. But if you're in the 3rd category and being near and experiencing new, just like I said, what you build, you will sustain. There's only so much that we can do. I mean, we can get discouraged real easily. We can get overwhelmed. We can stress out. Our businesses can fail if you're doing it all on your own. Like, you are not God. Okay? I just want to say that again. You're not God. It's not God. Okay? Like, there's something that's so much more bigger than you. So why wouldn't you want to incline to that? And why wouldn't you want to get your answers from God to help you in areas? If you're in the 3rd category, you're doing it on your own. You're like that lost sheep. Come back.
Well, I don't mean like, I think if you get carried away with the 3rd position, then you can be. It's not necessarily being lost as the 3rd position. I don't mean it in that way.
Okay, let's clarify.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I wanted to go into next.
Okay.
Because I think you can get carried away in 1 and number 3. I think number 1, you can get carried away and confine yourself to a point where the real world is not the real world to you. And I think number 3, you can get carried away and think you can do it all on your own. That's why we call it the safe place in the middle, because it is a mixture. And position number 3, it is a mixture of you and excelling and you doing things, like
you putting in the work.
And a lot of people, this is my opinion, a lot of people may not agree with this, but I feel like a lot of people don't give themselves enough credit. Not to say this in a way like to get carried away, but I feel like people don't give themselves credit in like, I did this through God's power. They're saying God did this. I didn't do anything. Yeah, I did nothing. I did absolutely nothing. Like, if I were to start a business and I'm a successful business owner, I did none of it. God did it. Give yourself some credit.
Yeah.
Like, you put the dedication to it. You put the hours to it. If you got a raise, you got a promotion. Like, I got myself a promotion through God's grace, So it's not God allowed this to happen. God got me a promotion. Of course.
Like, I didn't do anything.
He's in the details. Absolutely.
Like, he rewards you.
Yeah.
He rewards you. He has a plan for you. You can be lazy and not do anything.
But give yourself some credit. I think a lot of people can just doubt themselves, and it doesn't build self-confidence when you're just like, I didn't do anything. It wasn't me. So give yourself some credit there. But like I was saying, like, you can get carried away with that. And I think that is it's something to be aware of. You can definitely be carried away in number 1 and number 3. And that's really where we have to find a line to draw, and stay in the balance, or stay in the lines between the safe place. Am I going too far into the 3rd position, or am I going too far in the 1st position? Don't say that. I'm not saying that in a negative way. Like I said to begin with, they're not negative positions to begin with. But if you overdo it, I think it can be.
Yeah. because you're not getting anything done when you are being close in confinement. Like I was saying, like you're just staying in your four walls. You're not getting out. You're not being obedient to the gifts that God has given you. You're not being obedient to the things that He has called you to, and you feel it. Like you know the things that you should be doing, and you're not doing it. That's when it's like, oh, I'm just gonna sit here and not do nothing. I'm gonna read my Bible. I'm gonna pray. I'm gonna worship. But if He's like, oh wait, who do we hear that from? Our church. The one that has the app.
John
Bevere. So he mentioned, he said he was reading his Bible one night and all this stuff, and one of his friends asked him to come play football, and he was like, no, I need to study and all this stuff. And then when he was trying to read his Bible, he wasn't receiving anything. It was just like this block. It was just like, what? Like, okay, God, like, and he's like, go rest. Go play football, rest. Like, I hear that daily. Like, when I'm consuming so much of it, because I'm very, like, I love it, learning information. Like, if I'm driving, I'm listening to something but sometimes I literally hear God say, no, just don't put just anything, relax. But just process things. Process the things that you're learning, like being in the quietness and, like, just healed and process. And so I can feel when I need to do that and when I want information. Yeah. So I'm saying all to say, like, God's not always like, you need to have your head in the Bible all day, every day, like all day long, and don't go out and do anything. Like, that's not life. Like, He wants us to enjoy life.
We all live on an earth. We all live a human experience. Like, that's no secret. Don't let social media or somebody's, imagery fool you into thinking like that's how you have to be constantly. It's not that way. We are all human. We all mess up. We are all crazy. We are all weird in our own weird way. So don't follow someone else's imagery and think that that's how you should live your life. I think that's something that I had to learn myself. Going on this journey of, like, when I experienced God on a true different level on my own growing up, I had to experience that. And
experience what?
Just learn that I don't have to act a certain way constantly. I could still be myself and love God. Like, I can still be a human and experience life, start businesses and make money and still love God.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I really pray and hope that this is coming, like, out the right way. Like, I don't want this to get twisted in any kind of way. You know, like, this is just to encourage you guys. This is just to see, like, the different positions that we've thought of. And we're just like, hey, like, this is a thing. And I'm not, like, I really doubt people are. I mean, we have to go out to work. We have to have a living. So I doubt people are, just close in confinement all the time. But there's levels to what we're saying to this. I've said it many times in this episode, but take that close in confinement, go to that safe space, go to that safe place whenever you are moving into your gifts. If you feel something on your heart to write, go write it. Start typing on your computer. Oh my gosh, like the devotional I read today, and it doesn't, I'm jumping a little bit in my head. I'm just going to slow down for a second, but the devotional I literally read today was talking about, like, what are you waiting for? Like, what are you waiting for? Like, move into those things I called you to do. Like, it was literally today. And I was like, no way, dude. Dang. No way. And it used a scripture. I don't remember what it's called. But that's okay. It's fine. It's fine. I know the word. It's okay. But he's literally saying, if you're going to wait for good weather or something like that, you'll never plant a seed. Or if you're going to wait for the clouds to go away, you're never going to have your harvest. So it's like, what are you waiting for? Like, take risk, like, do it. Just go and watch what happens.
That's part of the experiencing new. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Just do it. Experience it. Go through that experience. Go through that trial and error. That's really good. I love that.
Yeah, if I had the devotional in front of me, I would read the scripture, exactly right. So I'm not, like, twisting up anything, but you get it. You get what I'm saying.
You're good. But to wrap this up, I think that was a great explanation. And I think this, obviously, us talking about this helped us in a very big way. It's something that I still think about right now. Even throughout the past days that we were talking about it, I was still applying it to my life. So I think it is very beneficial to have that. kind of have those 3 guidelines in your head, if you visualize that, if you're a visual person, it's something very good to visualize. So I hope this helped somebody out there. And if it did, let us know.
Yes.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, rate, share, do whatever you got to do. Leave us a comment on wherever you're watching, all that good stuff. If you made it to the end of this episode, as always, there's a special place for you in heaven, and we will see you there.
Gotta say that every time. You just have to. You just have to.
Got to. But until then, we will see you guys next week.
Yeah.
See things from a higher view, and we will see y'all soon. We love y'all.
Love you.